Africa makes the semi-final always, doesn't it?
He was the first nigga.
Said men away from the game. There's a
I'm a real hater like that.
Guys are gonna ride Messi, but like guys, the man can only do so much.
Yo, my brothers, my sisters, and my ballers, welcome back to another match day of What's Football with our fans, with your favorite social football analyst, Tsepiso Piti, aka Tsepzoro. To the ballers passing by, I hope you like what you see because I surely like what I do. And make sure to join the returning ballers who continue to show me gang love and appreciation by liking, commenting, as well as to subscribe. We've commenced with the new year with Liverpool still leading the league, as well as being the top runners in the Champions League, as they've done so all season long domestically as well as in Europe. With the new coach and not too many new signings, he's just adapted well and continued where Jurgen Klopp left off. Arne Slot's red machine has continued to soar during their league campaign as well as in the Champions League, and it feels as though they aren't special, but they sure know how to get the win. They've been great in second halves of matches, being able to adapt, and Arne Slot has truly been able to show his flexibility with calling on super subs from the bench for his attack in the likes of Diogo Jota when fit, as well as Darwin Núñez if not starting. It was also showcased earlier on in the season when the main front three was Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz, as well as Mo Salah. Gakpo would come on and put in a shift, to the point where he's now earned a starting berth on the left-hand side over the recent games. But the competition up front has just been healthy, with us all knowing Mohamed Salah's position on the right is stamped, and which we'll highlight later as to Chiesa not getting many minutes even though he has been injured and suffered from flu. Núñez has had a part this season. Diogo Jota when fit has had a significant part this season, and we can't ignore Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo, who have managed to score goals and are probably producing their best output since arriving at Liverpool. The front three just knows how to tick. The tranquility that they have between them in having so much energy off the ball as well as attacking with so much speed just causes havoc for defenses. More so when the midfielder behind them is Dominik Szoboszlai, who provides great energy as an athletic force as well as massive mobility. Off the ball, they're able to counter press you extremely well with you losing the ball deep in your half, whilst on the ball, he tends to be a second striker rather than a number 10, with it now looking as though Liverpool are playing a 4-2-4 when on the ball, which was heavily highlighted in the match against Tottenham Hotspurs away from home when they won 6-3. Szoboszlai was a nuisance. Luis Diaz got his goals, Cody Gakpo caused havoc, and Salah continued to devastate his opponents. When those three are up front together, it's a long day for Liverpool, as we've seen after the match against Bayer Leverkusen, which Bayer Leverkusen were well in the contest during the first half. Second half, Arne Slot just able to turn things over at Anfield, with Luis Diaz scoring a hat-trick and basically starting for the first time the trend of him being the centre forward in the team if Núñez is not playing, as well as seeing Diogo Jota, who's missed quite a bit of the season due to the injury suffered against Chelsea, with them coming back recently and coming back with goals, as he's shown against Fulham, where they came back from being down twice to gain a draw, as well as in the Carabao Cup against Southampton. Liverpool continue to soar, and the gap that they have right now in the Premier League halfway through the season is one which is truly deserved. Ryan Gravenberch has been the best finds this season for all midfield, and it makes me wonder if Zubimendi was bought with Zubimendi playing deeper, how much better would Gravenberch even perform? Because we all know that he's an 8 rather than a 6, even though, like I've said, Arne Slot's system has great flexibility, which allows him some license with playing alongside Alexis McAllister, who's just a genius and a smart brain in the midfield. For me, that man wearing number 10 for the Reds is underrated. He reminds me a lot of Rakitic, as he's able to ghost into the box. He's got a strike from distance. He's a neat passer of the ball and also has ball recoveries in. Gravenberch this season has probably been the best midfielder in the league, alongside McAllister, who definitely deserves his props. And another man who's continued to grow through leaps and bounds is Marlwood's very own Curtis Jones. Now, we've always known he has neat feet, good ball control, and there's a talent in there. But this season, he's definitely taken it to another level. And Arne Slot deserves a lot of credit for giving him the confidence to be able to show it. There was a point in time, even yesterday against the Red Devils, where he was able to start and he's kept Szoboszlai out of the team. Him and Szoboszlai have two different roles, but which are both effective for the team, where Szoboszlai operates in the form of a number 10, whilst Curtis Jones operates in the form of the second attacking midfielder or the highest number 8, which is truly effective and efficient, as it's the main tweak we've seen with Arne Slot's system versus Jurgen Klopp's system. Jurgen Klopp's system also had 3 midfielders, but with them all playing in line, and then when teams were able to break the press of the attackers and move more so to the midfield within the ground, you would feel Fabinho being the deeper man, whilst a Henderson or a Gini Wijnaldum in Liverpool's prime, or even a Thiago Alcantara pushed high, as well as a James Milner. Whereas under Arne Slot, there's Gravenberch and McAllister, and then you have a Curtis Jones out in that left centre mid position. Or if not him, you really feel the impact of Gravenberch and McAllister together, with McAllister positioned a bit higher, and then Szoboszlai just behind the centre forward. Just behind the centre forward, producing that energy, even though he hasn't produced much in goals and assists on the ball, off the ball, he's definitely a huge asset for Liverpool, and he definitely provides a great impact off the bench. Darwin Núñez, being the number 9, has been able to contribute this season, and it's healthy to see him having a crucial role in the team, but one with a sense of rotation. Other than other seasons where I feel like now the pressure really is off him, and a certain Egyptian pharaoh has taken it, but players like Luis Diaz have stepped up with being fully fit and no more having injury problems. And then Cody Gakpo is truly starting to show the potential he showed at PSV, as well as having a great 2022 World Cup, if you remember him in the attack alongside Memphis Depay for the Dutch. He's continued to score, he's continued to deliver, he's continued to push defenders, as well as, more importantly, fullbacks back on the right hand side with him attacking on the left. He's able to cut in onto his right foot or go down on his left, putting defenders on their backs to curl in benders into the far corner. I'm very impressed with the Dutchman this season. And under the tutelage of Arne Slot, he's truly fulfilling his potential. Now, with me saying and giving credit to Arne Slot with how well Liverpool has been able to adapt, there's many games where you've looked at Liverpool and seen them being on the back foot and seeing that there is a going here. They are there for the taking. Brighton had an amazing first half against them before Salah turned it on in the second half to help Liverpool come from a goal down to win 2-1, as well as other teams testing them in the first half. You know, Chelsea tested them well, but they were able to grind out the result. The game against Man United was evenly balanced, with both teams losing many balls and there being many turnovers until Luis Diaz scored the first goal over dispossessing Casemiro off of a main turnover, and then in the second half Liverpool controlled the game. Ipswich gave a good run the first game, as well as Brentford, but Liverpool is just able to soar on. It's not that they don't concede chances, they do concede chances. You know, Robertson this season's his decline has just continued from where it started off last season, and it's not even a thing of lacking pace, he just isn't able to recover as much as he used to, and he's no more that dynamic Robertson which we used to see. Trent Alexander-Arnold has done well, but you know, when he produces a howler, he truly produces a howler. Games like Man City, where the whole team had a great performance, with Gravenberch being able to nullify Foden, you saw the true essence and making of a team that can definitely be champions this season. Holding off Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park was a tight encounter, but they were able to hold them off, with Calais coming on in the second half, Alisson producing saves, even though you may say Palace should have gotten an equalizer. The team is just able to win. Finally, we're getting to see the best of Iram Konate forming a partnership with Virgil van Dijk. And even with him absent for the last month, they were still able to get results. Yes, there were a few mishaps that occurred, like a draw against Newcastle as well as the result against Fulham. But Liverpool has just continued to show that they're able to grind. There's been many times where they've come from behind to get a result this season, as well highlighted in the game against Newcastle, where Mohamed Salah just turned it on in the second half, and it was unfortunate that Newcastle got an equalizer off of Kelleher's mistake. But even when you look at their performances in the Champions League, against Leipzig it was a tight game before Nunes scored the goal. Real Madrid, they were able to cruise to victory, even though holding a scoreline of 1-0 for as long as they did. Real Madrid were always in the game, with Mbappe missing a penalty. We cannot forget the game against Girona, where Girona was by far the better team in the first half, highlighting the deficiencies of Trent Alexander-Arnold, with Miguel Gutierrez having a great game, with him potentially being one of the left backs who could replace Robertson in the summer, as well as an option like Aaron Robinson, who's done well at Fulham, or even fetching Nuno Mendes from PSG. An outlier could be Theo Hernandez, who will bring that attacking threat which Liverpool once had from the left via their fullback as well as their winger, which they kind of lack in this season. But in all honesty, it hasn't really been a problem. It's just to see whether that can hold out all the way until the end of the season. I've continued to say that Kelleher is the best number 2 in the league and can honestly start in most teams in the Premier League as the number 1 goalkeeper. He's by far better than Chelsea's goalkeeper, and I can even vouch in saying Kelleher is better than Onana, if we're being honest. He's done his part, as he always and has truly continued to do for Liverpool every season when Alisson goes missing or has an injury. Kelleher steps in and continues to do well. There's been no different this season under Arne Slot. With another half of the season left and Liverpool having a 6-point gap over second place plus a game in hand, we wonder that off of the deficiencies that we may have seen yesterday against Man United, when a team truly brings energy against Liverpool, they struggle. Man United had a brilliant performance showing great spirit and brought energy. It wasn't Liverpool's smoothest day at the office. The same was shown when they came up against Chelsea. The same was shown in their defeat against Nottingham Forest. If you provide energy against Liverpool, they truly do struggle. For certain spells in the game, it happened against Aston Villa before they were able to find the second goal from the Egyptian Pharaoh, who is the talk of the town in Liverpool as well as in the Premier League, continuing to break records, continuing to score game in, game out. He's only missed a goal or an assist in 2 Premier League games this season. And by the way he's speaking, my ballers, I honestly feel that Mohamed Salah won't be extending his contract at Liverpool. This is his final season. This feels as though it's his last dance, with him already speaking early with the Premier League being the title, and how he's already highlighted that the Premier League for him is more important than winning the Champions League, as he suffered 2 defeats plus a win in the Champions League, whereas he's had 2 near misses in the Premier League, plus only claiming 1 Premier League title. Out of the 3 players whose contracts are the talk of the town, I feel like he'll be leaving, and I honestly feel that the biggest creative spark in Trent Alexander-Arnold will also leave. Real Madrid is just a move you can't ignore. You can't ignore it, and for him to turn it down, we don't know when the chance will come again. Look, it happened for Kylian Mbappe, but who is to say it will happen for Trent Alexander-Arnold? Last year, he signed a deal to become an Adidas athlete, and things will just line up well with Real Madrid continuing to win in Spain and having a new stadium built, as well as their sponsorship deal with Adidas. I think the stars will align for Trent Alexander-Arnold being an Adidas athlete, as they have with Jude Bellingham. The player who I see extending his contract will be Virgil van Dijk, to cement his legacy in being the club captain and pushing Liverpool to potentially win the league and claim Premier League number 20, and becoming the first Dutchman to lead a Premier League side to victory. If he doesn't move to Saudi Arabia or USA, I don't think the Italian giants could afford his contract and, well, more so his wages, and a move to Bayern Munich may not be looking that attractive as opposed to extending his deal with Liverpool. Him extending his deal with Liverpool will truly cement his legacy in going down to be one of the best centre-backs to ever play in the Premier League, as well as being able to gain that second league title. You know, that second league title under your belt has great significance to it, and it's maybe the only thing that mars Jurgen Klopp's legacy at Liverpool within the Premier League era, although part of me feels like we can excuse him as he came up against the greatest Premier League team that we've ever seen in Pep Guardiola's Man City, with him achieving over 90 points 3 times, and with achieving over 90 points 3 times, he only won the league title once. Can you imagine that happening? It's certainly stuff that we've never seen and may have only gotten used to in La Liga. Certainly not in the Premier League, but in La Liga we saw it during the days of Ancelotti's first stint at Real Madrid, as well as Mourinho's first stint with Real Madrid. There's still a long way to go for Liverpool. I see them winning. They are my main prediction to win the Premier League. Coming off of the experience that they had last season, having a title charge that ended just after the international break, there's experience to go in with it, you know. They know where they've come from, and now they're able to adapt with the tough time that they'll have. Although, yes, there are many difficult away fixtures that they have, with the trip to Stamford Bridge, a trip to the Etihad Stadium. They must still go visit Villa Park in taking on Aston Villa, Fulham, who have been in great form this season. There's still a home fixture against Arsenal, who can never be counted out, having gone the past 2 seasons without losing at Anfield. There's still many obstacles for them to overcome. Look, they're cruising in the Champions League, with them already booking their spot in the last 16. They're in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, with us expecting them to reach the final, and we've all seen how a Carabao Cup as a first trophy has become a boost in England for managers like Jose Mourinho as well as Pep Guardiola. But who's to say they can't bottle it, you know? We've seen them bottle it before, and there's still a long way to go in the Premier League. That's where I leave it today, my ballers, in speaking of the Reds of Anfield. I hope you've enjoyed this match day and continue to see what Arne Slot's Red Machine can produce. Will Liverpool get title number 20? And when they have it, who do we now say is the greatest team in England? Liverpool, or is it still Man United? Continue to like, share and subscribe, and until next time, my ballers, live long.